Oh, hey guys, it's your favorite trainer, Coach Chuck. Can you guys tell me what's wrong with this picture? I've been sitting here for about 20 minutes working on videos, doing some programming, and just trying to get my clerical work done. Now, I don't work in an office setting, but I'm putting my body in a position that resembles that, right? And after a while, I can actually feel my neck getting angry with me with each second. And the reason for that is my body was not designed to be in this position for extended periods of time. Now, the position that I'm in with my neck forward, right, and looking down at this screen and reaching forward is an exaggeration of what your position is at work. And if you're working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week in this position, you have to understand that your body is trying to form into that position. Now, the average human head weighs anywhere from 8 to 11 pounds. And if I have that head stacked on my torso, that's how much it weighs. But for every inch my head is in front of this midline, you can add 10 pounds. So I got a big head. Weighs about 11 pounds, I would say. So here is 22 pounds. And then I'm leaning forward and I'm digging into this computer for hours. And I'm probably not twisting, right? I'm just in this position. After a while, the muscles of my cervical spine start to say, we're using way too much energy to try to hold this head up. Maybe we will just get stiff and stay stiff because this guy is not going to change his position. And then after 10 years, I wonder why when I turn around, I have to turn with my shoulders and I have no longer have this beautiful neck or cervical rotation. Here's the fix. Now, next, not so far forward, looking at that screen, I can actually bring my ears back over the top of my shoulders. I could actually sit up a little better. And here, this is a much better position for you if you do, in fact, have to be in this type of, or if you have to be sitting at a desk. Use your adjustable desk if you have one, something that you could put on top of your desk to raise that computer up. I mean, ideally, I would actually want this just to be a little higher. My chin can be parallel to the ground. The lower you are, the worse it is for your neck. So that's for sitting. For standing, I want a little bit of a different setup, okay? Now, ideally, I want that screen, again, at a level to where I don't necessarily have to dip my neck, right? This one is a little lower. We want it to be higher, but we also would want our forearm to be more level. So if my screen is here, I would want my keyboard here. And the last piece of this is that as human beings, we're not standers. We weren't designed to stand for extended periods of time. But if you're gonna stand, it's a good idea to have a stool or something that you can put one foot on. And then you want to keep alternating, right? And not just standing on one side. What this allows us to do, right? And I'm just going to go here, is it allows me to not get into my low back. If I'm standing on one leg, I actually have to squeeze this glute and do what's called posting, right? So I'm actually getting reps while I'm at work. Okay? Now, have you ever gone to a bar? You know, the bar where you go to have a couple drinks. I know you've been to a bar because I've probably seen you there, right? You walk up to the bar, and they have a little bar that goes around the bar on close to the ground. You know why that bar is there? Because we've been obsessed with human performance since the beginning of time. We found out a long time ago that we're not standers. And if you're going to stand, it's just more comfortable to have that foot up on a bar or a stool because you're more likely to stay and have some libations and spend more money, right? Let's take that way of thinking to work. If you have to sit in a desk type of environment, right? Do these things, implement these things. I found this out because I used to think that the most important thing was the time that I spent with my clients. So if you work out with me twice a week, then those 2 hours, that's how I'm going to change your life. That's how I'm going to get you fit. But I started realizing that people were showing up to my sessions not ready to work out. In some cases, people were literally bent over carrying their bag, walking into the locker room. They're in the shape of these seated positions, and I couldn't hand them a kettlebell bent over like that. I couldn't try to get them to do any box jumps bent over like that. I had to mobilize them, sometimes spending 20 to 30 minutes, half of their session, to try to get them to stand up straight and then do the things that I was asking them to do. That made me think about, well, what are you doing when you're not with me? And so I started asking questions, and 90% of my clients were sitting. And if they were sitting at work for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, they were sitting at home as well. So a lot of these people were banking 14-hour days sitting. Now, sitting is a stimulus just like lifting weights. If I lift weights, right, that weight is providing a stimulus. My body's going to adjust to that stimulus. Sitting is a stimulus. If I'm sitting 14 hours a day, my body is going to respond to that stimulus. Fast forward, I'm 50 or 60 years old and my body is not able to do the things that I wanted to do, and I'm chalking it up to just age. No, it's not just aged. Your body is a reflection of what you've been doing with it. But don't fret. I'm here to show you how you can change your narrative. Thanks for listening, and good luck.